Hello guys, welcome back for chapter 21. I don't have much to say, so let's just get right into it. Mastermind Rise of Anarchy, written by Clouds. My head in the clouds, not coming down. Read by MHA. Chapter 21. Connections. Summary. How does one navigate uncertainty? Hitoshi walked between headstones, ignoring the sparkle of rain as he made his way to All Might's grave. It wasn't that he had been particularly close to All Might or anything. It was just that the last time things have made sense, so it seemed like a good place to come to think. Plus, after so long, his grave didn't get nearly as much visitors, and there were many other graves to visit, so it was a good place if he wanted to be alone. The world had been simpler when All Might was alive. The symbol of peace had helped make things easy. There were heroes, there were villains, there was good, and there was evil, even with his quirk. Perhaps of it had been obvious to Hitoshi what side he wanted to come down on. But how was a hero with a villain's quirk, in a world where everybody was vigilantes? Hitoshi heard someone come up behind him and stepped off to the side to let them see the memorial. So much for being alone. But thankfully the newcomer didn't seem very chatty, at least until Hitoshi left. I've seen you here before. The man was tall and almost unnaturally lanky, and combined that with his outfit and a serious demeanor that made him look like some sort of middle management business class. Were you close to All Might? No, never. Hitoshi answered shortly. Never got the chance. The man nodded. So you never met him? Oh, I met him all right. Hitoshi huffed. A few weeks before I watched him die. He had hoped the shock factor would put an end to the unwanted discussion, but no luck. So you're a member of 1A? No wonder you're here so often. Hitoshi glared at him. I am a member of 1A, and not one of those dropouts. And it's nothing personal. This is just usually a nice, quiet place to think. Rather than being put off by his rudeness, the stranger laughed. I suppose I deserve that, don't I? And forgive my rudeness. I'm not introducing myself. I'm pretty sure that was the least rude thing you did, Hitoshi grumbled. The stranger sighed. As I was saying, my name is Sir Night-Eye. Hitoshi never really had been a hero fanboy, but when he was training at UA, he had paid special attention to heroes that stayed out for the public eye, like Eraserhead, and yes, All Might's old sidekick. Oh, no wonder you're here then. Night-Eye nodded. I'm glad to hear that some of Toshinori's students are doing well and continuing strong path to heroism. Continuing strong? Yes. Hitoshi deep-panned. Doing well might be a bit of an overstatement. Yeah, I suppose that's the case for all of us, isn't it? Hitoshi shrugged and started walking away when Night-Eye called out to him. If you ever need an internship, call me, he offered. My agency has always been good at staying in the shadows, so we've had less trouble adjusting than some. I assure you that my team will leave you alone if you so desire. Hitoshi rolled his eyes. I'll believe it when I see it. Enjoy your dead people. Of course, Night-Eye chuckled. And though I believe they are enjoying themselves more than we are at the moment. Yeah, Hitoshi responded. They're the lucky ones. Fumikage knew he was grasping at straws, but the funny thing was about isolation that was stupid, ideas that started to almost sound decent when they were repeated in one's mind enough time. In Fumikage's case, for example, the stupid idea in question was giving the League's incarnation meeting a second chance, so that he could stop avoiding Monoma, who was one of the few friends he had left, if he could even call him a friend. He knew it would probably be just as terrible as the first time, because obviously the League was a nest of darkness. But perhaps it wouldn't be quite bad with all the videos they had been posting lately. Fumikage was almost tempted to think the darkness was simply a protective shell, hiding true brightness from the world. Not that he would ever admit such thoughts, of course, but if they were true, it would be a mad banquet of darkness. He kept his head covered with a hoodie and entered the warehouse, half hoping that the meeting location had changed to avoid direction. But either they were unconcerned with being caught, or Fumikage was simply unlucky, because there were even more attendees than there were at the last meeting, and Magni had miled around the crowd, greeting people before things officially began. Fumikage couldn't see Mustard anywhere, but at the same time, he wasn't about to relax, even though he probably should, considering that his anxiety was making his quirk more restless than usual. "Stay calm, Dark Shadow," Fumikage muttered, "but be ready for anything." He felt Dark Shadow's agreement through their bond, and they both poured out relentless energy into hyper-vigilantes, identifying exits and eyeing every other person as potential threat, because they probably were. It was enough for most people to keep their distance, which was equally relieving and disappointing. But by the time Magni had made her way to him, Fumikage had established a place for himself in the back corner, half blending into the shadows. It should have been intimidating, but it wasn't enough to keep Magni away, which shouldn't be a big surprise as it was, considering that she was far the most dangerous individual here. Of course she wouldn't be scared of some broadly teenager in a black hoodie, but still, despite the air he was trying to give off, Magdi didn't show any signs of hesitation. He was used to seeing this from his classmates, and Fumikage couldn't help but feel pleasantly shocked. The hood kept people at distance, but apparently it did nothing to truly disguise him, because Magni recognized him immediately. She grinned as she approached him. "Hey, Tokoyami, right? I was half afraid we'd scared you off last time." "I'm sure you gave your best attempt," Fumikage replied smoothly, "but Dark Shadow and I are not easily intimidated." "That's what we like to hear." She clapped him on the back, almost making Dark Shadow jump out of his skin. "All we need to be strong right now, if we hold up our ground and not get swelled up in all the lies we are fed growing up." Fumikage looked at her skeptically. "And what lies are those?" "Meh, evil versus good, black versus white, villains versus heroes," Magni shrugged. "You should know, all those opposites make things easy and simple to understand, but really kinda dumbed everything down into a simply swallowed pill that the Commission shoved down our throats. Those lies." "Ah." Fumikage nodded and gestured to the front, where people were starting to look for their hostess. "I believe they're waiting for you to begin." "Yeah, I'm coming." Magni rolled her eyes. "I'm sorry if I get distracted talking. I guess glad to see you back, kid." Fumikage did not respond, simply waiting and watching as she began the meeting and started teaching them about empowerment and how to truly take control of their own lives the first time, regardless of what anyone thought of them or what they'd been taught to believe. He was He supposed that seeing people as merely heroes and villains was simplifying it a bit much, wasn't it? When the values in painting were pushed to their absolute contrast, it robbed the viewer of the beauty and complicity in the gray, or the potential of the students that had been pushed away and were hiding in the shadows. Kyogo ruffled his feathers nervously as he approached Dabi, who was lying on the couch, throwing a ball in the air. Why was he nervous? It was just Dabi, who did his best to annoy him at all times. But Kego took a deep breath and tried to make himself as annoying as possible. Revenge and a confident builder. Two birds with one. Okay, well, maybe it wasn't the best metaphor. Hey, Dobby. Hawks draped himself over the back of the couch, bringing his wings up in such a way to block him from throwing the ball again. What you up to? Dobby glared at him. Considering frying some chicken wings for dinner, what are you doing? Ah, don't be like that, Keko grinned. I was wondering if you wanted to go do something fun tonight. Dobby gave him a look. Sorry, but got kicked out of an arcade doesn't sound like a good idea in my fun. I thought the commission buried away that story, Kego muttered. Come on, that was one time, and I was 15. I've much better plans now, I promise. Just hear the bird out, Dobby, Shoto called from the other room. Who knows, maybe he'll do a fun dance to impress you or something. Dobby's hands burned blue. I swear to God if you fucking try. Kego held his hands up in surrender. No dancing! I swear, no singing or dancing, arcades, or anything remotely similar. You'll enjoy it, I promise. Dobby scoffed, but extinguished his flames. We'll see about that, pretty bird. What did you have in mind? Well, Kego let his wings ruffle in slight excitement. You know how you hate child abusers. The look on Dobby's face, him backtracking. I mean, obviously, I'm not stupid. It was kind of a rhetorical question. Can I start over? No. Dobby shot him down, but Kego caught a hint of amusement in his eyes as he relaxed slightly. I hate them too, so I was wondering if maybe you wanted to go take some down, Kego rambled. With me? Dobby grinned and pushed himself so he was closer to Kego's face. Shouldn't we invite the rest of the league? Or did you just want to go rogue and roast some assholes? Just the two of us. Kego's mouth went wet and dry as he was trying to come up with some sort of answer that didn't make him like an idiotic pet parakeet when Shoto shouted, Just leave already. The rest of us don't want to hear you two flirting tonight. Why, you! Dobby leaped up from the couch, but Shoto was already running down the hall, so he just flipped them off and went back to Kego. Fine, I'm in the mood for murder now. Anyways, try to keep up. You say it like I wasn't the fastest hero in Japan. Kego chirped, letting one of his wings brush Dobby's arm on accident. I think it's you who'll have trouble keeping up. Dobby stopped, and Kego instinctively froze when he smirked at him. Alright, pretty bird. Challenge accepted. Ease! I know I heard some of it myself. I don't know if you guys could hear like the banging upstairs. It's just probably my siblings running around. I'm tired. It's like early this morning. I just thought I'd record a chapter because I can, and nobody's stopping me. And I do have school, but like I have to go do something. Like, well, it would be during school, but like I've time before, so I'm just gonna stay home until I have to do that thing. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and maybe I can get another chapter or two out this morning. Not this morning, but like in the afternoon or something after I'm done. I do have curling, but we'll see. Anyways, have a good morning, night, day, whatever time it is for you. And I'll see you in the next chapter. Peace.